What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Before I get into this video, I just want to go ahead and mention a couple things that will be changing on my channel. As you guys have already seen, my new intro, and if you watch to the end of this video, I have a new outro which has all of my social media listed, so you guys will be able to follow me there. And since my following has been increasing, my subscriber count has been increasing, I always wanted something like a name or something to call you guys. Like, I don't like to refer to you guys as like fans or like anything like that. And since a couple of my subscribers have actually followed me on social media and they've referred to me as their YouTube best friend or their internet friend or their internet best friend or something like that, I decided to just call you guys my friends. You know, I didn't want to go and say family. You know, I know some YouTubers are like, oh, you guys are my family, like all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not about to call y'all my family. I don't really know y'all like that, but like, we can definitely be friends. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video with my new intro. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by that title, I'm going to be discussing the time that I got finessed. I should say scammed, but finessed out of $342.91. So just seeing as by this point, this happened back in what, October? Since I'm probably never gonna get that money back, why not make a YouTube video about it? So this all took place back when I was supposed to be moving to my very first base. I was supposed to be PCSing from home to my very first base, and essentially it was going to be a 3-day trip. I was gonna drive the first day for 8 hours, get a hotel in that state, drive another 8 hours, get a hotel, and then I was gonna be at my first base, right? So I didn't want to go by myself, and you know, all the people that I wanted to go with me couldn't because they were either working or didn't have the money to. And so I ended up asking one of my friends, who is the main character of this story, I asked him to come with me because I was like, hey, you know, you're not doing anything, it's a weekend trip. On 2 separate occasions, I was like, because the military is going to reimburse me anyway, I've already paid for the hotel, I already have gas covered, all you have to pay for is food and a way to get home. I made that perfectly clear. So a little backstory on him, which I haven't even given him a name yet. So let's just call him, let's call him Andrew, okay? Let's call him Andrew. Let's give a little backstory about Andrew. So Andrew, in the past, had been known to be like flaky, and he was like either a hit or miss type of friend. Like, you really couldn't depend on him all the time, but like when he did come through, he came through, right? So the whole week leading up to the moving day, I was like, oh my God, he's probably gonna flake. He's probably gonna flake. He's probably gonna make up some excuse on why he can't go. And now I'm gonna have to drive like 17 hours all by myself. Andrew actually ends up coming through, okay? And he lived I think he lived maybe like 2.5 hours away from me. On the day that I left, I went and picked him up. So we finally reached our destination and we were pretty hungry, so we decided to go out to eat, right? And we went out to this pho restaurant. I think I'm saying that right. He was the one who suggested this place. He was the one talking about it. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's his idea. Let's go here. So here was the first red flag that this trip was gonna go south. So after we get done eating, the waiter brings the bill. And he kind of just gives it automatically to him. I'm guessing because he's the man, he's expecting him to pay. He kind of sat there for a little bit and we're, you know, casually talking. And then he gets up to go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. He was maybe in the bathroom for like 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. You know, I'm expecting the fact that, you know, he suggested that we come to this pho restaurant that he was planning on paying. But I guess not. So I just took one for the team and I was just like, you know what? It's just, you know, a couple dollars. I'll just go ahead and pay for it, whatever. So I went ahead and paid for it, and then he magically just happens to come out of the bathroom after the bill is paid. So then, you know, I wanted to have a bottle of wine when I got back to the room. We ended up going to this liquor store. So as we're walking in there, I got what I wanted, and he picks up a bottle of something. And I was like, oh, what are you getting? And he's just like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna get whatever you get. I'm just gonna get whatever you get. Okay, this was actually just gonna be for me, but you know, I guess I don't mind sharing or anything, you know, whatever. So I ended up getting like a bottle of wine, paid for it, and then we went back to the room. The next day, I don't remember where we went for breakfast, but just know that I ended up paying for that as well. And in the car, mind you, I asked him, I was like, hey, you know, did you buy your plane ticket yet? And he was just like, no, not yet. And I was like, okay, you know, we only have like one more day. And if you buy a ticket last minute, it's gonna be pretty expensive. Then we get to our next destination, and I see that he's looking at different flights. The flights are like $400 at this point to get back home. So I'm like, oh, well, you know, are you buying your plane ticket now? He's like, no, not yet. Not yet. You know, they're pretty expensive. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. You know, if that's his money, if he wants to buy it last minute, you know, that's on him. But once we check into the second hotel, we were right across the street from Cheesecake Factory, which is my all-time favorite restaurant in life. I just wanted to enjoy myself. I wanted a nice dinner, and that's exactly what I did. He, on the other hand, just starts talking about how he is like broke and how, you know, he's basically on the verge of tears at this point, talking about how, you know, he's having family issues and how he's broke, how he doesn't even have money for groceries or to put gas in his car. His car is like, his car needs to be fixed. Something's wrong with like the engine or something. I don't really know, but he just starts going on this whole tangent about how he's broke and he's like about to cry. And I was like, look, you're my friend. I would be a horrible person, and that's not in me to sit here and have my friend cry to me about how they don't have money and how they're struggling and have me not do anything. If I have the money to do it, I will help you. He was just like, oh my God, you know, thank you so much. Like, I'm really about to cry right now. Like, oh my God, you are just, thank you so much. And I'm like, look, it's nothing to me. Just, if I can help you out, I got you. So the morning of, you know, the morning I'm supposed to report to my first base and the morning that I'm supposed to take him to the airport, we're checking out of the hotel. You know, I'm about to get my receipt and everything and be on my way. And the lady at the front desk is, you know, typing everything in. And so I turn to him and I ask him, I'm like, okay, so what time am I taking you to the airport? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, did you buy your plane ticket? And he's like, nah. And I'm like, when I tell you it took everything out of me not to freak out in front of this lady at the front desk over this, because I was like, okay, I have to report there in like 3 to 4 hours. And you mean to tell me that you still have not, after I told you a week ago that you were supposed to buy your plane ticket and like, first of all, I have paid for every single thing on this trip so far. And the one thing, you had one job, and that was to get a plane ticket. So we get back in the car. And I'm really trying so hard not to blow up on him, but I'm like, what were you doing? What have you been doing this whole time? Like, you were looking for flights. You kept saying, oh, I haven't bought it yet. I haven't bought it yet. As if you were planning to buy it. And you just didn't buy it at all. And I was like, what? Like, why haven't you bought it yet? Like, it's going to be expensive because it's last minute. And he's just like, I told you I'm broke. I literally wanted to just reach over and just literally choke him. Like, I was like, well, how are you gonna get home? He's like, I don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Well, I don't know either, because so the nice Libra that I am, I start checking my bank account. And I'm just like, I literally have money to get to the base and I get paid in a couple days. Like, what am I gonna do? Then I check my credit card balance. And there's just enough to buy him a plane ticket. Like, and here's the thing. So the day before, when he had looked at flights, they were like $400 and something. But I heard the best days to buy plane tickets are on Mondays and Tuesdays. And that day was a Monday. So I don't know, by the grace of God, his plane ticket was like $200 and something. So I was like, give me your phone. Booked him a plane ticket with my credit card. Like a dummy. Now granted, he had to wait at the airport for like 5 to 7 hours until, you know, his actual flight. But I was like, look, I can drop you off at the airport, but I gotta go. I have to report in a couple hours. Like, I can't sit here and stay with you. And he was just like, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Like, God, there's got to be some good karma in this. Good karma. Like, I don't play when it comes to my money, but like, I really, telling this story, I'm like mad all over again. Report to my first base, get settled in, get established, whatever. He lets me know when he makes it home. Cool. About 2 to 3 weeks later, I hadn't heard from him. I hadn't heard nothing. No hi, no how are you? You know, because here's my thing. If somebody lends me money, I'm gonna do everything in my power to be like, yo, you know, I'm gonna be grateful. I'm gonna be grateful. You know, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, look, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm gonna pay you back. Blah 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 blah. He never once offered or said, hey, I'm gonna pay you back as soon as I can. You know what I'm saying? So then he gonna send me a good morning text. Ignore the next day, because he has this thing where like he out of nowhere will just send you like his Apple Music playlist on like his moods and stuff and like how he's feeling and the vibe, like his vibe. He calls it his vibe, and he just likes to make playlists on like his vibes and send them to people, I guess. And I'm like, and I was petty about it, and I just sent like the little ghost emoji. He was just like, oh, just a little, not intentional though. Then he starts talking about, oh, I've been studying for these tests, and you know, I've been working on these papers and what. No, you're not. You literally smoke every day, all day. Like, you're not studying. I've never seen you pick up a book. Like, I've never, as many times as I've been over his house, I've never seen him with like a book open or like a book bag. Like, I've never even seen a book bag in his room. So I don't even think you really in school. I don't even think you go to class. At this point, I'm not even trying to hear about it. I'm not even trying to hear the BS that he's about to spit to me, because he is well known and notorious for doing that, like making up excuses for literally everything, every situation that he goes through. He literally, like, if he is in the wrong, he will make up an excuse on the spot, like the worst excuse possible to like get you to not be mad at him. So at this point, I am pissed, and I'm like, I just want answers right now. So I hit him with, oh, so, you know, what do you plan on doing when you graduate? Because what he told to me on the trip was that he was planning on, like, after graduation, going and finding a job in Vegas and, like, moving to Vegas with his dad. And I'm like, so, like, how you about to get to Vegas with no money? How you about to get to Vegas with no job? Because here's the thing, if you really think about it, either number one, he either has money stashed away for, like, a plane ticket to at least get there, or number two, he can just ask his dad for money, or like one of his parents for money. So like, I have this whole like idea in my head of like what could possibly go wrong, and like what he could say to me and what I'm about to say back. Because if you have a source of income or you have a source of money somewhere, then why couldn't you like pay for nothing on the trip? So then he starts talking about, oh, you know, I'm probably gonna go back home. Hopefully I'll be in Vegas by March and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. So like, how are you still able to pay for your rent and food and weed and stuff? Because, you know, he smokes like every single day, like every single day. And he's like, my savings account is dwindling as we speak. I said, your savings account? I said, wow, so you really just finessed the F out of me for that whole trip. Like, you acted like you couldn't pay for anything, but yet you had money in your savings for like everything else. Like, So then he starts talking about how he barely has enough to last him through graduation, which was in a month. And how he was talking about, oh, I just have friends who smoke me out for free. Do you think I'm dumb? Okay, I might be for like doing this whole trip and planning this whole thing, but like, do you think I'm dumb? As much as you smoke, ain't nobody smoking you out that much for free. And then he goes, oh, they smoke me out so much because I guess I'm loved. I guess I'm loved just that much some way. So I was like, okay, so since you're so loved, do they love you enough to give you $263? Because that's basically how much he owed me. And after the fact, you know what? After the fact, I went ahead, and it was actually more than $263, because what I did was $263 is how much his plane ticket was altogether, right? Then I went through my bank account. I went through my bank statements and total up all the food that we ate and basically divided it down the middle. And that total came out to $342.91. Okay, $342.91 on one person, on one human being. honestly say this is like the dumbest thing I've ever done, like to date. To date. Like, I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, but like nothing like this. So then he goes on and is like, oh, I'll pay you back as soon as I get the money, blah, 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 blah. And he literally has this thing where he tries to like guilt trip people and make people feel bad for him and make people feel sympathetic for him. But like, I wasn't trying to hear it. I literally just lost $342.91. Like, you really think I'm about to be sympathetic for something that I told you to do a week ago? So then I was just like, okay, I was just seeing where your head was at. I'll be looking forward to it. And then that was the end of the conversation because I was not going to respond after that. So then he likes my message and then proceeds to send me this. What the that got to do with me? Like, it's really hard to feel sympathetic for somebody who like deliberately heard what you said about bringing money to pay for food and to pay for a way home, and you deliberately just ignored everything that I said and just like basically finessed all that money out of me because you knew I was gonna pay for it. You knew I was gonna help you out. You knew that. Like, even on the trip when we were sitting in the car and I was like buying his plane ticket, he was like, I'm sorry for the miscommunication. Ain't no miscommunication, B. I literally told you. Jeez, I'm angry all over again, messing up my clip-ins. What the heck? Yeah, so I'm probably never gonna get that money back. So I just decided like maybe I can just go ahead and post a video and then get reimbursed for it. You know, maybe YouTube's gonna cut me a check. Moral of the story is, don't fool with bums. If he seems bummy, he is. Don't second guess yourself. And if you ain't got the money, just say you don't have the money. Just say that from the get-go. Like, that's the part that makes me mad about this, is the fact that he knew that he didn't have money. He knew that he only had money, allegedly, to pay for rent and like to hold him through graduation. He knew that he came on this trip with no money. Like, I legit want to fight him right now. But if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to me if you haven't. In the outro of this video, there will be all of my social media listed. So add me on Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, if you have one. Yeah. I will see you guys in the next video.